With 2025 nearly underway, what rewards credit cards will be in my wallet? Let's find out together, shall we? Hey everyone, this is Kyle from Fiony, your financial resource for a changing world. For credit card reviews, app reviews, travel tips, and more, be sure to subscribe and thanks for hitting that like button. Since I often talk about rewards credit cards, including the pros and cons of each, every year I like to take a look at the cards I have in my wallet and how I plan to put them to use in the year ahead. But while this video doesn't cover every card I personally have, I still wanted to highlight the ones I plan to rely on the most and those that have a specific purpose. With that, let's dive into my 2025 rewards credit card strategy. First up is my most expensive card, but one that I get a lot of value out of, the American Express Platinum card. Despite having a $695 annual fee, as I recently reassessed, I'm getting at least that much in value from the Platinum card's credits, which means that the other perks such as lounge access and rewards themselves are icing on the cake. On the topic of rewards, I'm always sure to use my Platinum card for airline bookings as it earns 5x on flights booked directly with the airlines or via Amex Travel. It also earns 5x on hotels booked using Amex Travel, including the Fine Hotels and Resorts program that I'm largely a fan of. Going back to the card's credits, my favorites include the $20 per month Digital Etnrainment Credit, which covers my ad-free Disney Plus and Hulu subscriptions, the $200 per year FHR or Hotel Collection Credit that I recently used at the Palazzo in Las Vegas, and the $200 per year in Uber Cash. For those reasons, as long as the math works out for me, I definitely plan to keep the Platinum card at the top of my wallet. The next card is the newest one in my wallet, the Amex Green Card. After having the Amex Gold for several years, I recently downgraded to the green card instead. I'll make a separate video detailing the reasoning behind that move, but paying a $150 annual fee versus $325 was certainly a factor. As for how I'll be using the green card, it will fill the role of the gold card as my go-to dining card, even if it's 3x versus 4x. Meanwhile, a new category I'm now covering thanks to the green card is generic travel and transit. This is nice since the Platinum's 5x category for hotels only includes those booked via Amex Travel, so now I can choose to book directly and still earn 3x, which may make more sense in certain situations. Meanwhile, although the $150 annual fee will be covered by the Clear Plus credit the card offers, as I intend to use it for my wife's membership, I'm also thinking that a refresh of the Amex Green could be in the cards for 2025. So we'll see if that comes to fruition, and if not, perhaps I'll end up canceling this card altogether once it comes up for renewal. In the meantime though, I'm excited to see how this card fits into my mix. Speaking of new cards, this one's actually a carryover but does bear a new name, the Capital One Saver Rewards card. In 2024, Capital One discontinued the $95 annual fee Saver card and then turned around and renamed the Saver One card to the Saver card. The death of the original Saver didn't come as too much of a shock to me, as I always saw the no annual fee card as the better option, but I am a bit surprised that they passed down the name as it is kind of confusing. Regardless of the nomenclature, the now named Saver Rewards card continues to be one of my most recommended. In my case, the card will now be my best option for buying groceries, and is also a winner for the broad entertainment category it features, and for streaming services. Plus, in situations where I'd rather earn cash back than Amex membership rewards points, then the Saver's 3% back can also be helpful. Another card that recently saw a very slight refresh and remains in my mix is the Apple Card. Although I don't have a real 2% flat rate card, the ubiquity of Apple Pay makes the Apple Card my go-to for purchases not explicitly covered by any of my other cards. Of course, the other perk of this card is the interest-free financing on select Apple devices, as well as 3% back on Apple purchases. Actually, the 3% category is a bit wider than people realize, as it also includes Walgreens, Ace, Nike, Uber, ExxonMobil, and more. Recently, the card also added Booking.com and ChargePoint to this list while removing Panera. Of course, with Apple looking to end its relationship with Goldman Sachs, 2025 could bring some large changes to the Apple Card, but I intend to keep using it, at least until Robinhood finally lets me get their 3% back gold card. One card that I'm not using as much these days, but hope could gain new life in 2025 is the Bilt MasterCard. Since I no longer rent, the Bilt MasterCard has lost a bit of its luster for me. On top of that, since rent day double point bonuses are now capped at 1,000 points, these monthly offers are also not as attractive as they once were. However, with Bilt teasing an expansion into mortgage payments, I'm really hoping that the card will regain a prominent place in my wallet during the year ahead. If not though, it could still provide some interesting status perks and other benefits, even if I don't put a ton of spending on it. In the new year, I'll also be using my oldest credit card, the Discover It card. When I first ended my credit card embargo, I applied for the Discover It card and have had it ever since. The appeal of this card isn't the 1% it earns on most purchases, but instead the 5% rotating quarterly bonus categories. For example, from January through March of 2025, customers can earn up to 5% back on dining, home improvement store purchases, and select streaming services. While those are nice, I'm hoping that Discover includes mobile payments as a bonus category this year after skipping it in 2024. Either way though, the It card's bonus categories are always worth keeping an eye on from quarter to quarter. Finally, a bonus one I'm adding to the list isn't even a credit card at all. Instead, it's the PayPal debit card. Speaking of 5% back, the recently refreshed PayPal debit card could make for an interesting addition to any credit card mix. That's because each month, cardholders can select one eligible category to earn 5% back in, up to $1,000 in spending. Some categories featured include restaurants, clothing stores, gas, and others. What's more, this cashback can stack with offers in the PayPal app. So while it's hard to say whether PayPal's debit card will retain its shine through 2025, for now, I think it's at least worth checking out. Hopefully this gives you a better idea about my 2025 rewards credit card strategy and what it's all about, but for more on the topic, I'll have a link to my full article in the description box down below or right here on screen. I'm also curious what cards you plan to put to good use in the new year, so be sure to let me know in the comments. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time here on Finey.